Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, if you're living in the modern world, you know the feeling. Just chronic, overwhelming stress.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows up not just as, anxiety or feeling tired all the time, but it can feed into real long-term health problems. Daily life is just running us ragged.
Yeah, it really is. And look, no supplement is a magic bullet, right? It won't replace good sleep or a decent diet. But what our sources are showing is that more people are wisely looking for targeted natural support.
Right.
So our mission today is a deep dive into the research which supplements actually seem to work for promoting calmness, for resilience, and how do they do it, physiologically.
Yeah, because we're not just listing herbs here. The knowledge we're pulling out shows these compounds actually target specific pathways in your body.
Exactly.
Balancing stress hormones, enhancing mental clarity. They help your system deal with the pressure, not just mask it.
That's the key insight, really. We're trying to move beyond just managing symptoms towards supporting the body's own ability to adapt to stress. And we've got evidence backing these natural approaches, showing they can genuinely improve how your biochemistry handles pressure.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our roadmap focuses on the heavy hitters, the ones that keep showing up in the research. Magnesium, that essential mineral. Ashwagandha, the king of adaptogens. L-theanine for that unique focus. And the B-complex vitamins, basically fueling the whole system.
Right.
Plus, we'll get into those synergistic protocols, how you combine things. This is how you build a smart strategy.
Let's do it.
So let's start where a lot of the research does. Magnesium. It gets hailed constantly as a cornerstone for stress management. Why is it so fundamental?
Well, magnesium is involved in, over 300 enzyme reactions. But for stress specifically, think of it as a calming agent for your nervous system.
Okay.
It helps modulate the stress response. Essentially, it helps put the brakes on that fight or flight system when it's, stuck in overdrive.
And the sources mention it reduces subjective stress, how you feel, but also enhances something called heart rate variability, HRV, right? Can you break that down? Because that resilience part sounds important.
Absolutely. Heart rate variability, or HRV, yeah. It's one of the best markers we have for how resilient your nervous system is. Think of it like elasticity. When you're super stressed, your heart might beat very rigidly, like a metronome.
Right.
High HRV means there's slight variation in the time between heartbeats, even as you breathe. It shows your body's flexible, adaptable, and can bounce back quicker after stress. Magnesium helps support that flexibility.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, the sources were very specific about the type of magnesium. They really stress that absorption is key.
Oh, it's critical. It's probably the single most important factor. Lots of forms, like magnesium oxide, they're just not well absorbed by the body.
So you're taking it, but not getting the benefit.
Exactly. The consensus in the material we looked at points towards forms like magnesium glycinate complex, and they mention SFI Health as one example, because it offers much better bioavailability.
Meaning your body can actually use it.
Right. If you're taking something specifically to calm a stressed nervous system, you need to make sure it gets where it needs to go. Glycinate is noted for being well absorbed and gentle on the stomach too, which is a plus.
Okay, good to know. Moving from minerals now to a powerhouse herb. Ashwagandha. This is where it gets really interesting, I think, because we're talking about a true adaptogen.
Adaptogens are fascinating.
Yeah.
Think of ashwagandha as like training wheels for your stress response system.
Okay, I like that analogy.
It doesn't remove the stressor, the hill you have to climb, but it helps your body climb it more efficiently without completely crashing afterwards.
Yeah.
They help the body adapt. That's the key word.
Adapt, not just react. And ashwagandha specifically goes after cortisol. What's the mechanism there? Did the sources talk about how much of an effect it has?
Yeah, it works by modulating the HPA axis. That's the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. It's the body's central stress command center.
Right.
Cortisol is the main stress hormone pumped out by the adrenals in response to signals from that axis. What the research shows is that consistent ashwagandha use can significantly lower chronically elevated cortisol levels.
Chronically elevated, okay.
Right, which leads to improved overall stress scores and just a better sense of general well-being for many people.
Now, the source material did flag one specific product, Claire Lab's ashwagandha extract, noting it's allergen-free. That's great. But it also pointed out a common consumer issue. That specific one lacked third-party testing.
And that's a really crucial point for anyone listening. While the herb itself, ashwagandha, has good evidence behind it, choosing a product means balancing things.
Right, trade-offs.
Exactly. You might really need that allergen-free status. But you have to weigh that against the assurance that comes from third-party testing, which verifies, is what's on the label actually in the bottle.
Yeah.
Purity, potency. It just highlights that you need to do your homework before buying.
Definitely. Okay, so if magnesium and ashwagandha are maybe the foundational long game players for building resilience, what about someone who needs like immediate calm right now? Maybe before a big presentation or just to get through a tough afternoon without feeling wired.
That brings us perfectly to l-theanine. It's an amino acid found naturally in tea leaves, especially green tea.
Ah, okay.
And its unique benefit is promoting the sense of relaxation, but without making you drowsy at all.
How does it do that? Relaxation without drowsiness seems counterintuitive.
It's pretty cool, chemically speaking. L-theanine works by boosting alpha brainwaves.
Alpha waves.
Yeah.
Those are the focused, calm ones.
Exactly. That state of relaxed wakefulness, like when you're meditating or just really in the zone. At the same time, it can increase calming neurotransmitters, like GABA. So it dials down the perception of stress while actually sharpening focus. Think of it as calm clarity.
Calm clarity, I like that. And for L-theanine, the sources really hammered on quality testing again.
Yeah, because you're often taking L-theanine for a specific acute need, right?
Right.
You need to trust that the dose you're taking is accurate and effective.
Makes sense.
The sources pointed to products like pure encapsulations, L-theanine as representing that ideal standard. They have a strong reputation for rigorous third-party testing. That guarantees purity and, crucially, the potency. You need to know you're getting what you pay for.
Got it. Okay, switching gears slightly now to the B-complex vitamins. We usually think energy with B vitamins, but they play a really critical, maybe unsung role in handling chronic stress too.
Oh, absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
Because being stressed constantly burns through nutrients like nobody's business. Yeah, that fight or flight response puts huge metabolic demands on your system. B vitamins, think B6, B12, folate especially, are essential cofactors for everything from energy production in your cells to making neurotransmitters to just overall brain health. Stress depletes them.
So the evidence connects higher B vitamin intake not just to having more energy, but actually to feeling less stressed and having a better mood.
Precisely. There are studies linking adequate B vitamin levels with reduced stress scores, better mood regulation, and even improved cognitive function under pressure. They're basically fueling the entire machinery needed to cope, particularly things like the methylation cycle, which is vital for mood stability.
And for a foundational B-complex supplement, the sources suggested looking at something like Megafood Balance B-complex, highlighting that it's formulated to be gentle and easy to absorb. Why is that formulation important?
Well, under stress, digestion often takes a hit.
Yeah.
Gut health can be compromised. So if you take a supplement but can't absorb the nutrients properly, it's not going to help much. A gentle, perhaps food-based or otherwise highly absorbable formulation helps ensure those B vitamins actually get into your system and support those metabolic pathways, helping maintain energy and mood.
Okay, we've covered the big four then. Now let's get into the more advanced stuff. The supporting cast and this idea of synergy. Because it's not always just about taking one thing, right? It's how they work together.
Exactly. And what's interesting is the sources give us a broader toolkit. They mention other supportive nutrients like vitamin C and zinc. These are brought up mainly for immune support during stress and maybe mood or cognitive health for zinc. The direct evidence for acute stress relief might be less robust than for, say, magnesium, but they contribute to overall resilience.
Right, keeping the whole system strong. And what about other adaptogens? We've focused on ashwagandha, but there are others mentioned too.
Yeah, definitely. The sources also highlighted rhodiola. That one's often valued specifically for tackling mental fatigue like burnout and maybe enhancing physical performance under stress.
Okay, so good for exhaustion.
Right. And then there's valerian root. That one's got a much more specific focus. It's almost entirely used to improve sleep quality. And as we know, good sleep is absolutely fundamental for managing stress. You can't handle stress well if you're chronically sleep deprived.
Non-negotiable. Okay, now let's talk synergy. Combining supplements for a bigger effect. What specific pairings did the sources really emphasize?
There were a couple of key synergistic pairings highlighted. First, always consider taking magnesium with vitamin B6.
Why B6?
B6 acts as a cofactor. It actually helps your cells absorb and utilize magnesium more effectively, so it basically boosts magnesium's calming power.
Oh, okay. Good tip.
The second major synergy mentioned was combining adaptogens, like the ashwagandha we discussed, with l-theanine.
That makes sense. It sounds like the ultimate balancing act. One for the long-term cortisol regulation, the other for that immediate calm focus.
You got it. It's a really balanced approach. You're tackling the underlying hormonal response with the adaptogen, while getting that acute sense of calm and clarity from the l-theanine. The sources suggest these kinds of combinations are particularly helpful if you're dealing with moderate to severe or maybe more chronic stress, because you're hitting it from multiple angles.
Okay, this is all great science, but let's translate it into, real-world use. Getting practical. Timing. Does it matter when you take these things?
Oh, absolutely. The timing can be pretty specific depending on what you want the supplement to do. You want to align its function with your body's natural rhythms and needs.
Okay, so give us the rundown.
Magnesium, because it's calming for the nervous system, is very often taken in the evening. It can help with relaxation and potentially improve sleep quality.
Makes sense. What about l-theanine, the focus one?
That one's usually best during the day. You might take it as needed, maybe an hour before a stressful event, or just generally during the workday to enhance that calm focus without sleepiness.
Right, you don't want that before bed. And B-complex.
B vitamins, because they're all about energy metabolism, are almost always recommended in the morning. Take them with breakfast usually to help support energy production throughout the day.
Got it.
But, big caveat here, always check the specific product label for instructions, or better yet, talk to your healthcare provider. These are general guidelines.
Good reminder. And circling back to quality, which we touched on with ashwagandha and l-theanine, how does the average person navigate this? Balancing effectiveness with things like third-party testing.
It requires being a savvy consumer, doesn't it? You have to prioritize transparency. Look for evidence of third-party testing seals from NSF, USP, Consumer Lab. That's really your best bet for verifying purity and potency. That should be baseline.
Okay.
And if you have allergies or sensitivities, definitely look for brands that clearly state they're free from common allergens.
Yeah.
As for forms, well, capsules are often preferred for accurate dosing. Gummies, the sources acknowledged, are mostly about making them easier or tastier to take.
Right. Palatability. Now, probably the most critical practical point, safety. Who absolutely needs to check with a doctor before starting any of these supplements?
Honestly, it's wise for everyone to check, but it's absolutely crucial if you're currently taking any prescription medications, especially for mood, anxiety, blood pressure, blood sugar, thyroid conditions, or if you have any chronic health issues.
Why is that so important?
Because supplements can interact with medications. They can sometimes affect how drugs work, or they might influence baseline lab results your doctor is tracking. So that conversation with a healthcare professional is non-negotiable to ensure it's safe and appropriate for you.
Okay. And just briefly, are there common side effects people should be aware of? Anything to watch out for?
Generally, these supplements are well tolerated, but some people might experience mild side effects, particularly with higher doses of magnesium. Sometimes digestive upset can occur. With some herbs, occasionally mild headaches or rarely allergic reactions. The standard advice, which the sources echoed, is always start with the lowest recommended dose. See how your body tolerates it before considering increasing it.
Start low, go slow. Makes sense. And finally, managing expectations. How long does it typically take before someone might actually feel like this stuff is working? Is it instant or?
It really varies hugely. Depends on the person, the supplement, the severity of their stress, their consistency. For something fast-acting like l-theanine, you might feel calmer within, say, 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay, pretty quick.
But for the foundational support, like building up magnesium levels or letting ashwagandha modulate the HPA axis, you need patience. You might need several weeks, maybe even a couple of months of consistent daily use to notice significant lasting improvements in resilience and overall stress levels. It's not a quick fix. Think of it more like gently reprogramming your system.
Right. It's a strategy, not a Band-Aid. Okay, so let's wrap this up. What does this all mean for someone listening? It feels like the answer to dealing with chronic stress doesn't have to be just, throwing random things at the wall.
Exactly.
We've laid out a core-informed strategy, understanding those foundational roles of magnesium and ashwagandha, using l-theanine for targeted focus, keeping the engine fueled with B-complex, and knowing how to combine them effectively with synergy. Understanding these pieces lets you move from guesswork to a more tailored approach.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, It really moves beyond just coping day to day. These natural compounds, especially the adaptogens like ashwagandha, they're working on a deeper level. They're influencing your body's long-term stress programming, that HPA axis, the cortisol response.
So it's about changing the baseline.
That's the provocative thought to consider, I think. How can consistent, informed use of these synergistic approaches fundamentally alter your body's long-term ability to adapt to pressure, not just react to it or survive it? True resilience isn't about never feeling stressed. It's about how efficiently your system returns to balance. The real question is, are you giving your body the tools it needs to build and sustain that adaptability over the long haul?
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.